All right, so now we're gonna start using these kitchen shears, and we're gonna remove the rubber bands from the claws. Then you're gonna just discard them. After we remove the rubber bands from the claws, you want to grab from the knuckle and just pull down and break the whole arm off. Now we're gonna move on to taking apart the tail from the body. And you want to just grab and twist firmly and then pull away. Now we're going to set the body to the side. We're going to set the claws to the side. And now we're going to go after the tail. All right, so if you pinch the tail until it cracks, pinch it from the outside shell up all the way until it cracks. Then you flip it over and then pry it apart. And then once you pry it apart, the shell breaks and comes free from the meat. This might take a little effort, but you can do it. So after the shell comes from the meat, sometimes they're still a little stuck. So what you want to do is stick your thumb in here like you're eating a crawfish. You want to break that tendon that's connecting the bottom of that tail to the meat. And you can just use your thumb and press down in it, and then tail meat should pop off. We're going to be saving all the shells to make our lobster bisque. So we're going to put them all inside a pot and keep them all together. So we're going to set to the side the tail meat. Now we're going to grab the claw. Now you want to break these knuckles at the joints. A little twisting and the knuckles should pop off. In this case, the meat came right out. We're going to do the same thing for this second knuckle. Twist, twist, pop off. This one, the meat stayed inside. So this is when you grab your kitchen shears and just cut along the shell and expose the meat. Sometimes you might have to pry them apart just a little bit until the meat is exposed. One more cut never hurt anybody. Now we come down to the claw. Now from wiggling this claw back and forth like this, it starts to drain a lot of water. So you want to put that over the pot and hold as much as possible. So you just want to take the end of this claw and wiggle it back and forth and pull it out slowly. It's a long piece of cartilage that comes out, but then the piece of meat stays intact with the rest of it. We're starting with the back of our chef knife and give it a good whack. Not too much to break the meat, just enough to crack the shell. So we go from the top and then the side. And we're going to go to the other side until everything comes apart and everything is nice and free. But sometimes some of this stuff is real stuck to the shell. So just push it out with one of your other fingers. Depending on how pretty you really want the meat to look. Little patience and whole claw came out beautiful. Now I'm just putting this towel down so I can have somewhere to put this meat. So we're setting everything off to the side, keeping everything together so you can tell where the meat came from and where it belongs. Now we're going to attack this second claw. Same thing. Got a little more water on my board than I needed. So we want to keep all of that extra water, all of that juice that's going to build flavor. So same thing. First knuckle. Meat popped right out. Second knuckle. Same effort. Twist and break. Meat stayed in, so we're going to grab our shears again. And you want to pry out that meat. These little shells get real tough. But sooner or later you expose the meat. Now let's go on to the second claw. Now, like I said, you open the claw up naturally and a lot of water is going to drain out of there. And you bring it back to your cutting board and you're going to wiggle it from left to right. Left to right, real gingerly. And then you're going to easily work that thumb joint out, leaving all of that tail meat inside of the claw. From the top, back of our chef's knife, and then from each side. This one popped off on one side. Still a little stuck, so I'm gonna stick my finger in the back of it and then push the rest of the meat out. Beautiful claw. We want to make sure we keep our board from being slippery as possible. And now we're going to work on our legs. So we got our body again. Then we're going to separate the top shell from the rest of the body. Put that to the side. Now we're exposing all of this green stuff. This green stuff is called tamale. Now, tamale has a very strong seawater lobster flavor. It's a real strong taste, so it's not everybody's liking. So most people just discard it, or if you make a soup, it just adds extra flavor, but not when you just want lobster meat itself. So you're just gonna pull in the opposite direction and break all the legs away from the body. After we broke all the legs, there's a little more meat in the inside of this body. You just want to break it in half. And it's little meat right there on the inside of both of them, but it's not a lot, so it's just not worth our time today. So we're going to put this to the side and keep it with the rest of our shells. We're going to drain our board one more time, and we're going to get to attacking these legs. Now, if you straighten the leg out, it's a lot easier to push all the meat out of it. Now here I have something round. All you need is something round, like a rolling pin, a real small one or something. Here we're going to use the back of this whisk just to show you that you can use anything that you can just push and roll off of it. So you're starting from the end, and you pushing towards where you broke at. And it's almost like you're just pushing toothpaste out of a tube. Just want to get constant pressure and roll all the way up. And it'll slowly push all the meat out of that leg. Now here we have a time lapse, and we just rolling all of these legs, and some of them are breaking, but that's fine because you pushed the meat out of that part. So we're just slowly pushing all the meat out of the legs. Now for presentation, we slice the tail just so it'll stay flat. We got our last leg. We got all our scraps, and here's our finished product.